Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and to the American campaign, where we're going to try and establish a blockade of Italy, or at least that's the plan. The Georgia, along with some other ships, has found this D-class battleship. This is one of the ones with the 20-inch guns, and a W-class battlecruiser, which I don't remember seeing before. Anyway, that's got 18, so some heavy firepower in here, plus a whole bunch of lighter ships. When you're dealing with ships with guns that big, especially if the game starts you anything less than 50 kilometers away from each other, there is the potential to lose ships on our side, because our ships are not designed to take hits from 20-inch guns, shockingly enough. In fact, it's not really possible to design a ship that can take a hit from a 20-inch gun. As we'll see when I finally get around to designing some super battleships, which in episode time and in watch time, if you're one of my loyal viewers, thank you very much, is probably, feels like it's been ages, but in actual time it's not been that long since we put down the Wyomings, the 18-inch ships, which I haven't even seen in combat yet. But yes, I do want to do a super battleship, or at least try to do a super battleship. Oh, we're starting very close. Okay, we're in two groups. That's kind of ideal. So, Squadron 1, or Division 1, Division 2. Start hitting them and start turning away. Yes. 20-inch guns are potentially an issue. This thing, though, is also potentially a problem. Well, let's see what you're made of, Georgia. And others, of course. We've got Georgia, Iowa, Wisconsin, Oregon, Rhode Island, Michigan, and California in this fleet. 20-inch guns can be a big problem. What range did we start at? Yeah, 30 kilometers. Sure, you're firing at the right target. Some of those seem wildly off. There we go, that looks a bit better. Main deck hit there? Doesn't seem right. Must be a forward deck hit, surely. Oh, rattling their cage a little bit there. More shells coming in. Flooding. Ugh. Sheer power in those shells is quite unreal. Not bad. Another main deck pen. Ooh, two more. Good. And another one. unfortunately, every shell they send, their accuracy is going to build, and eventually they're going to connect. How's the battlecruiser doing? It's taking a little bit more damage. Conning tower hit. Bridge destroyed. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Poor old Wisconsin. Ow! Start withdrawing. No, really start withdrawing. Ow! Yeah, 20-inch main deck pen. Not much you can do about those. Why I'm trying to take out those ships, but very hard because they're bow in. Poor old Wisconsin getting bodied here. Oh, that was a big hit. Accidental hit. The battlecruiser, which is back here. Oh boy. Yeah, she's taken 5 hits from those 20s. That is a lot of flooding. I think we've already lost the ship here. Yeah, Wisconsin is going down. She can't control that flooding. Damn. She fired a salvo right as she started sinking, though. Smaller ships have also really aggressively pushing. Okay, the battlecruiser's badly damaged. Battleship, not so much. Some torpedoes coming our way. Keep up the fire though. Yeah, that battleship just eats damage. It's insane. Right. Six-inch guns doing a marvellous job. Cruisers pushing in, but getting royally screwed over by all of the secondary guns. Oh. Oh, yeah, they were. Close range torpedoes on Iowa. Needs to start withdrawing. Right, you lot are freed up to start also attacking the battleship. So I believe the battlecruiser, yeah, has gone down. I was in better shape than I thought it was. Yeah, look at that armor. 26-inch main belt, 7.6-inch main deck. Superstructure's vulnerable. 29 on the turret face and 12 on the top. That is a tough nut to crack. As evidenced by the 156 hits from 16-inch shells that you've been able to tank. Crew loss is quite high though. Various secondary guns getting blown off. Everyone form up on the Oregon. All fire going into that battleship. Flooding by the bows. Not enough to sink her by a long shot, but... Oh! Who is that? Georgia taking two 20-inch shells. That's why you need to take these things out. Because she's bow in, can't rely on flooding causing issues. There we go, finally got one to bow. Bah-ha-ho! Oregon. Stray shot, causing some damage. For a moment there I thought Oregon had been hit for that much. Given that we're trying to crew killer, try some high explosive. See if that does anything. Nah, it doesn't do much. Destroy a secondary gun. Set some fires. I'll keep their damage control parties busy for a bit. Interesting design. Kind of slow, very lightly armed, but incredibly heavily armoured ship. It uses its ridiculous range. Although, we could... Yeah, see, if they hadn't started so close, we could absolutely fight this much more effectively, because we could kite this ship, because we would just head away from their task force, keep out of range, sink all of their screens, and then close in later to try and finish them off. Also, probably quite vulnerable to torpedo attack if you did that. Kill off all the screens and then try and get them with a torpedo. Ah, they surrendered. Crew loss too high. 643 hits that took. Tough bastards. Hey, AI, see how much trouble you can do by just putting armor on a ship? That's quite an effective design. They're 2.5 billion. Okay, they're slow, but they killed a battleship and above their price class. So did better than most of your other ships. Just saying. Right. Should be able to finish off the rest of the fleet fairly easily. Destroyers and cruisers, really no match. I wonder how many of those 20-inch ships the Italians have. Rhode Island, what are you doing? Oregon is the lead ship, not you. Oh, Iowa. We're in worse shape than I remember. Did you take some torpedoes recently? Oh, I can't tell. She was under fire from the battleship towards the end there. Anyone else taking some damage? George's reasonably well damaged. Well, as an Eagle Eye viewer pointed out, I have a ship under construction called the Pennsylvania, but we actually have a Pennsylvania already. I think we should rename it, and I didn't know what to rename it to, but I think I do now. Just two badly damaged cruisers remain. But the 69, nasty. Very curious design, almost like a gunboat. Like a port defense gunboat, a very expensive and enormous one, but yeah, pretty good counter to what we're doing, where it's like, well, you don't need to chase me down, you can just keep it in port almost. Yeah, so we've lost the Wisconsin. We will name one of the new battleships in her honor. Who did the most damage there? California did, actually. Oh, very good. Alright. Back to the map. Welcome back. The Emmanuel Filiberto has found a pretty large convoy, guided by a bunch of destroyers, not all of which are Italian. Some of them are allied. I was going to say, I think I've managed to sink most of them, but there were a few hiding with a sneaky torpedo, but two torpedo protection holding up, and it's in the middle of a storm, which has meant that this battle's actually taken a while, but just coming up on the last transport now. And, I do want to have a quick look at the end battle screen, because I want to show what ally it was. Romania. It's a bunch of Romanian destroyers, a couple of Italian ones, and a big old convoy. 12 of them. Lovely stuff. Welcome back. We have successfully blockaded Italy. Lovely. That is going to cause them a lot of problems. No, thank you. We get a port strike. Also lovely. Super pillars. Okay. Yep. You can have some of those. And, well, it'll happen next turn, but that means... Oh, no, it happened this turn. Russia has dissolved. Bye, Russia. Ha, ha, ha. Yes. Chile's new leader, 38. Now, I need a battleship for that. Stop distracting me. But, yes, we have eliminated the Russians completely. Good riddance. Now, then. How are you doing, Italy? Yeah, see? Now, for the first time in the entire game, the US economy is the biggest, which means we've won. But more seriously, yeah, their economy gets cut in half while we maintain the blockade. They're building a lot of ships right now. They're sub 1 million tons. Interesting. Very interesting. Their oil production per capita has crashed. Maybe that was to do with a minor ally they had or something? Because their oil province is here. No sign of the army pushing any which way yet. Yeah, southern Italy's going to be... Oh, we can't. Because, yeah, we're invading down here. So we'll take Italian Somaliland in a couple of turns. 77... Oh, 92. So we're about to take Sudan. Ethiopia won't be far behind. And we take Somaliland in a couple of turns. And then... things looking a little dicey for Italy. Especially as South Carolina and South Dakota are both ready. And those are a new level of power for us. And we'll sit them off the coast of central Italy. And see if... ooh, that's a tasty looking fleet. See if those guys want to come and play. But things looking decent. What are you up to, France? Yes, you might cause some problems. There is also the potential for a war with Britain. Now, a war with Britain would be hilarious. There's a lot of territory that would be interested in. Certainly to start off with in the Caribbean, South America, Central America. Want all of that. We want all their stuff in the Pacific. New Zealand, Australia, Malaya, India. You know, all of this stuff is very interesting to us. So are all of their African colonies. Gibraltar, Malta, Cyprus would give us not total control of the Med, but we'd be getting there. But even Western Turkey would be an interesting one to pick up. Oh, they own Norway as well. Or Southern Norway. Yes, war with the British... It's probably going to be fairly short in terms of the battles, but lots of territory we could get. Welcome back. As with the last episode, I'm just kind of skipping to the juicy bit of convoy battles. And the final county here is just about to eliminate the light cruiser protecting the last of this one. There she goes. Yeah, lovely stuff. Just try and grind out the Italians. Try and break their economy and get their army logistics down. It's very difficult to do on Legendary. But I kind of want to eliminate them completely. I don't see the point in piecing out at the moment. We might as well keep on top of them. Right. Let's go and see if we have got any other convoys we can attack. Alright, we've taken Sudan, which is excellent. And we've also taken Italian Somaliland. Ecuador, sure. Ooh, we did get it this time. Right, there should be some ships around somewhere that can go and do that. Oh, there's a battlecruiser over there. Instead of send the United States to go and deal with that. Right. Yes, Ethiopia's about to fall as well. Let's have a look and see what that's done to Italy. Yeah, this is still 100%, but we are starting to work them over. I'm just wondering... Yeah, fuck it. Let's go for southern Italy, because we've got to get rid of them. Absolutely have to. And southern Italy, assuming it spawns on Taranto, which I think it will, we should be able to keep a fleet in the circle and also keep the fleets in the correct sea regions, if you kind of see what I mean. Because we need to keep a fleet here in the Adriatic. We need to keep one down here in the kind of arch of the foot. And we need to keep one over here in order to keep the blockade up But I think we can do that and keep them all inside the invasion circle. We'll see next turn anyway. The other thing is, we have quite a lot of ship capacity spare. I think it's time to do some designing. So it takes ages to load the designer. I'll see you there. Okay, the super battleship. Now these things, it can go extremely fast at 33 knots, although good luck with that. Tower-wise, I'm probably going to go with a relatively small tower with, if I can find it, a matching secondary tower. Yeah, that one. So that I can reduce the beam on the ship. Yeah, that's actually perfect. And I might reduce the draft as well, because these ships are enormously fat. So these are going to be... So the Wyoming's are 75, and these are going to be potentially 83. That's a bit small. Let's updraft to -12. 91. Maybe I don't change draft. 99, and then so I want it to be 100,000 tons. Basically, it's still going to be an enormous ship. Boo. But you know, we can be a little bit sensible with it. So this is 25,000 tons bigger than a Wyoming. It's going to be slower because the Wyomings are really fast ships. And they had 3x3 18s. So there's two options. We could go for 18s and try and go for 12. But I think the more fun option is to use 20s. I'd love to use triple 20s. Because why the flip not? But I can already tell that's going to be massively overweight. But we can try. How about slowing it down to 30 knots for a start? Secondary guns. Ooh. Ooh. I think triple 8-inches don't quite fit. Shame. What about quad 8s? Quad 8s fit. Oh, no, they don't. Not on all the slots. Darn. How about 777s? Oh, do you know what? Screw it. Let's go for the 888s. I'm sure I can make them fit. Where there's a will, there's a way. Some 888s. I'm assuming we're going to need a fair amount of funnel. Oil. Right, gas turbines. Get us just to 89. Diesels, 85. Okay, let's go diesels then. More secondaries? I guess we could go for some quadruple 3 inches, potentially. It's like a super heavy AA, but no, we'll go for the triples. There you go, bunch of 3-inch guns. Could mess around with the calibers, I guess. Although I don't think a 3-inch gun is particularly close to anything, is it? Yeah, we could make them 80mm weapons. Because that'd be 3.15s. Let's make them 3.2s. Just for funsies. Oh, it makes them, they don't fit. Fine, just 3 inches then. Yeah, I love how this has, I mean, five 8-inch turrets on each side, which means they have more firepower than a Salem-class cruiser on each side of them. That's a lot of secondary firepower. Right, guns. Those 20-inch guns, they need to come down. Can we get them all the way to a 45? Yes. Okay, that'll save us a lot of displacement, but the main thing is it'll get the rate of fire up. 1.2 rounds a minute. Perfect. The 8-inch guns, on the other hand, we're going to lengthen... Or maybe we're not. To 40? No, 38. 8 38s and 3-inch 42s. There we go. Cool. Let's go with usual mod cons. This is where the ship will go enormously overweight. That's fine, because I think it comes with an enormous amount of armor by default. Set up the propellant charges and things. Instance. 200%. Thank you. Right. So, yeah, the pen on this thing, pretty spicy. Now, we have seen ships with belts of 26 inch or something stupid. So, yeah, we'll keep the capitalistic 2s. Incendiary's not it. What about nose fuse? No. We'll stick with base fuse. Yeah, that's a pretty punchy, high explosive shell. We'll stick with standards. Really, we just need to get to armoring. However, I don't think we're going to have much luck here. Yeah, a lot of, to be fair though, a lot of it is in armor and turrets, so maybe we are going to be okay. So, realistically, this ship is going to be fighting 20,000 meters plus most of the time. So a 20-inch main belt, which is what it comes with, is fine. And similarly, I think we can cut this down to like 3-inch. Deck armor, on the other hand, it's basically impossible to armor up against 35,000 meter plus hits. Plus, the deck pens at those ranges aren't always correct because the shells lose a lot of velocity by the time they actually get to you. So I think 10-inch main deck, which is pretty much what it came with, is fine. But let's have 3 on the fore and aft deck. So that protects us from HE from fairly far out. 22 on the tower, 22 on the turret face, yeah, 12 on the turret tops, 22, the 8 inches, yeah, they don't need that much, 8, 3, 8. Okay, inner layers. Oh, that would be some chunky layering. This would be an amazing ship. It's just 25% too heavy. Most of it is going on hull, bulkheads, and armor on the turrets, and the turrets themselves, though. We could go standard bulkheads. We could... Well, it barely makes any difference. Lowering the speed helps, but not as much as you would think. Stick at 30. A lot of it is tied up in the hull. 20% of the ship is just bulk. Yeah, pains me, but something has to go, and it has to be something up here. We could... what's the difference between a triple and a dual? That's quite a lot. We could go with just 6 guns, given how enormous these things are. Come on. Stop being so finicky. %110%. Okay. They're 400 tons, those 8 inches. A triple 6 inches, considerably lighter. I do like those 8s, but yeah, we are overweight by a lot. So I think sacrifices need to be made. Actually, screw that. Oh, no, 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 no. I did not click on the main tower game. Right. If I just turn these, we can fit the longer guns, which I think is worth doing. 7%. Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there. Anti-torpedo is very heavy. I know people are going to be screaming at me to reduce that. Also have insanely thick inner layers. 3 times 8 is 24. So we can reduce this down to 3-inch innermost layer. No, you jumped. How dare you? There we go. Wait, what? Yeah. And this we could reduce to 6. That's probably excessive, actually. 5 might be okay. Yeah, let's go down to 5 on the innermost layer. Saves less than you'd think, but it does help. Hmm. 3%. Hmm. 3%. It's tempting. No, it doesn't help. Yeah, that doesn't help nearly as much as you would think it would. because of the diesels. Could dump the RDF because we don't actually need that. Hull and bulkheads. And engines, to be fair. I mean, I could go slower. 28 knots gets us reasonably close, but it would make her in between the standards and the moderns. I really want to keep that 30 knot top speed. What would happen if we went down to a 4-inch innermost? That would be 32 equivalent. Yeah, that's fine. Let's shave another bit off the inner belt. 1%. Shake the barbette armor, perhaps. Very close now. Do you know what? 1 pip of range. No! It makes almost no difference. So I'm going to diesel 2 rather than a diesel 5. Yeah, there we go. So a lot of compromises from the ship I did want to build. But these things are perfect for invasions at 100,000 tons. And for the kind of battles we're likely to face in the future, the fact they only have 6 guns probably isn't going to be a deal breaker. They have a reasonably good secondary armament. They are very heavily protected. Yeah, they should work. Now you can judge for yourself whether the $5.5 billion is worth it. So would you rather have a Wyoming, which is faster with more 18-inch guns? Or would you rather have, where is it? A Liberator. It's much cheaper. Many bulkheads. Yeah, interesting. Well, the US Navy is going to have options, but there we go. One super battleship. Oh, dearie me. I mean, they're certainly going to sound awesome. Put it that way. Right. Let's... well, I wonder how many of these we can build. Let me go to see that. All right. We have 5 under construction now. I'm sure people can tell me if these states are being repeated. I'm pretty sure Ohio is. Actually, I can probably just go like this, can't I? So, also gets you a chance to see all the ships we have. Colorado is unique. Okay, that's good. Next to check is North Dakota. No, we don't have a North Dakota. Oh, they're highlighted. That's handy. Ohio. No, we don't have an Ohio. I think we did at one point. Reliance is not a state name, so that's fine. Yeah, that should... and we don't have a Vermont. Okay, good. Everything proceeding according to plan then. Right, well, with a super battleship, or 5, under construction, things not going super well for Italy. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.